The next order of business is the board, reorganization of the board. The board to consider a vote to elect a new chair, vice chair, and secretary. So, I guess, Bob, you called for this, so why don't we let you,
Okay, I did, thank you. I asked for this discussion and vote tonight because this board has a leadership problem. And I'm not just speaking for myself. I'm speaking for hundreds of residents in the Elm Street neighborhood who are so frustrated with Chairman Salafia that they've gathered almost 1,000 signatures on a petition calling for his resignation. I am also speaking for a very large group of residents that showed up in force at January special town meeting to reject, yet again, the zoning changes sought by Sal Lupoli and aggressively promoted by Selectman Salafia.
okay, I gotta stop you, and you need to stop saying that I aggressively do things.
May I finish my statement?
No, you cannot finish your statement. If you're going to,
As a board member,
listen to me.
As a board member,
No, not as a board member.
as a board member, I have no confidence in Selectman Salafia's ability to, you can rebut when I'm done.
Yeah.
As a board member, I have no
you can't
confidence in
have-
Selectman Salafia's ability to lead this board, considering the following. We were recently misled by Selectman Salafia and the town manager on the North Reading water agreement. This board was also not told about an 18-month negotiation for a license agreement with Andover companies until recently, when the finalized agreement was put before us for a vote. This board was also kept in the dark on the Mass Works grant, while Selectman Salafia, Town Manager Flanagan, and Mr. Lupoli worked with Secretary Ash on a, quote, out-of-round grant that is still mired in many unanswered questions. And finally, there is the issue of ethics and accountability.
All right,
In
now
response-
you're going beyond, Bob.
In
Do
response
not talk
to a
about
direct
ethics.
question from a resident at
Okay.
the 2017 annual town meeting, Selectman Salafia said the Board of Selectmen had a school impact study related to the proposed Dascom Road project. We
That's what I
didn't.
was told.
We didn't. Last August,
you
Selectman
don't need to-
Salafia, excuse me, may I finish?
No.
Excuse me, Mrs. Salafia.
Please finish.
Last August, Selectman Salafia unnecessarily alarmed Andover's nonprofit organizations by spreading a false rumor that I was trying to stop nonprofits from using public
Exactly what
property.
you were doing.
Completely untrue. We learned last October that Selectman Salafia had taken thousands of dollars of undisclosed campaign
All
contributions
right.
in 2006 from
We're done with
several
that.
employees
We're done with
and business
that.
associates.
We are done with
While
that. There's no
advocating for
reason on earth why you
Poli's
should say
Medical
that.
Center and Dascom Road project. Also in October, a resident filed a complaint against
He's
Selectman
out of order.
Salafia with the
He's
State
out of
Ethics
order.
Commission for acting as agent for Sal Lupoli in front of
done
two
with the
other
fake
boards.
news?
And finally, on October 16th, Selectman Salafia was not truthful to the board
Robert, shut
and
up.
Andover's residents when he said the following.
All right, quiet.
After thorough investigation of the facts, it is important to know that the State Ethics Commission has found no wrongdoing by me. That is provably false. So tonight, I'm asking my fellow board members to join me in naming a new board chair effective immediately.
You are a liar. You're a liar and a disgrace, okay? So you think you can prove all that stuff? You can't, because none of it's true.
Board
None of it
members,
is
I'm
true.
not going to be party to this type of
I
behavior.
don't blame you. I'd like to leave too.
Attaboy, Dan. Attaboy, Dan.
I'd like to leave too.
Attaboy, Dan Kowalski.
You know,
Good job, Dan.
look at your smile here.
Attaboy, Dan.
You like to smile? You like to smile while you lie?
You can't.
You're a liar. And you know you're a liar. I can actually, I'm gonna go on a campaign to prove your lies, okay?
Nice campaign speech.
Yeah, that's right, that's what he's doing. All right. Does anybody on the board like to speak to this?
I would.
Anybody on the board like to speak to this?
I will speak I'd like to speak in general terms here.
I'd like you to speak specifically about what his allegations.
No, I'm going to talk in general terms about what this board's role is, okay? And there's a trust and confidence issue. We've got a distraction. We've got to get back to moving to the business of the community. This has been a distraction. I think it's a huge distraction for different reasons. And our role, people that voted for us are expecting us to do the town's business. Have there been issues? There have been issues on all sides. I'm not going to address any of those issues particularly.
I will.
That's up to you to do that, but we had an issue once before, many years ago, where we had an issue, not dissimilar, but similar, where there was a discussion and the board came together, especially when there were differences. I think we need to do that again. This approach is not what people expect and what the citizens of Andover
It's
expect.
disgraceful, is what it is. Disgraceful.
You think it's funny that there have to be two police officers standing here watching over the Board of Selectmen's meeting?
All right, come on. Please.
What?
Let's be quiet now, be quiet, okay? Let Selectman Vespoli finish his discussion. My goodness.
As a board, we need to come together. It may seem idealistic, but we cannot operate in this environment. We cannot. I mean, the citizens expect more from this board. We have to deliver that. The Board of Selectmen has always been able to operate, even when there's disagreements, and there has been disagreements in the past, but not to this level of approach. And I'm looking for this board to come together, and whether there's issues back and forth. And I'm not
Well, the man is,
taking any particular specifics, but I'm looking for a way we can move forward. We've got, we're approaching town meeting. We've got probably the biggest issue in front of us, which is the North Reading Water Agreement, which to me eclipses so much more because of what's at stake for Andover, and quite frankly for both communities in the best interest, which we just talked about. And this type of approach is not going to get us there.
So you support Paul Salafia remaining as chair, Alex?
I
In
didn't-
light
I
of
didn't
everything
address-
that
I
I
didn't address that
outlined,
at
you
all.
support?
it's all lies, so he understands.
I didn't take a position.
All right, let me
I didn't take a
just,
position at all, Bob. I'm not.
alleged ethics violations under Chapter 23B3 and Chapter 17C. Fact, there are no ethics violations. In October of 2017, Mr. Jose Albuquerque, now a candidate for selectman, so you're starting to feel where this is going? Okay?
Let him talk.
Listen. Margaret, everybody, quiet.
My name is Pete Smith, 135 Chestnut.
I don't care who you are. The complaint is only one of hundred,
No, you don't.
quiet,
Manager mathematics.
quiet. This complaint is only one of hundreds received each year by the Ethics Commission. It is important to note that a complaint is not a violation. Because of the sheer volume, it takes typically many months to bring a complaint to final resolution. I spoke directly with the Ethics Commission just last week and asked for an update. They readily admitted that these complaints are often characterized as violations and used for political purposes during the months that it takes to come to final resolution. This is exactly what happened here. Mr. Albuquerque, his actual complaint alleges that I had a campaign victory party at Salvatore's restaurant, and I did, in fact, have that party and paid 100% of the bill with no considerations, no discounts. There was over 100 supporters there, 100 voters in attendance, all along with Selectman Vespoli and many of his supporters. There is nothing improper about having a victory party.
What was that? What was that?
You were there.
When? Not this.
You were there. You brought a lot of your friends and supporters, and that was great.
2013.
No one calls votes here. I get to speak. There was allegations here. Allegations here. I don't care. The complaint alleges that I attended zoning board meetings and that my facial expressions, frigid glances, and seating choices were meant to intimidate members of the zoning board. I am not sure how Mr. Albuquerque could possibly make the quantum leap from what he believes to be a frigid glance or a facial expression to an ethics violation. Mr. Albuquerque's actual complaint alleges that I attended a school committee meeting as a de facto spokesperson for Dascom Road project. The school committee, through their chairperson, asked that I attend that informational meeting as a selectman's liaison to the zoning and planning department, and he subsequently wrote, if I felt that it was important for the committee to get accurate and objective information about the warrant articles, and in particular the project's potential impact on our schools before we took any position. The information you provided was extremely helpful. That's from the school committee. I accepted their invitation, clearly stated that I was there as the liaison to the zoning and planning departments, and answered the school committee's question as best I could. And at no time did I advocate or become a spokesperson, as was alleged, for any particular developer, as Mr. Albuquerque alleged, and any other allegation is simply untrue. Smile if you'd like, but it's simply untrue. You've been told that I did not disclose financial donations made to my campaign. It was just mentioned again, okay? Again, this is simply not true. My campaign finance report clearly shows the full amount of all donations, as well as the name, occupation of each and every donor. I inadvertently left off only the addresses of 3 contributors. The State Ethics Commission advised me to add the addresses, refile the form. Inside of 30 seconds, that document was updated and refiled. In a letter directly from the Ethics Commission, they stated, once that disclosure is on file, you may perform all your official duties. There was no broken laws, as alleged, no failure to disclose donations. They were all there. Just a simple address correction. You were not told the truth. Again. Given this misinformation you provided, I understand why you might have thought that it was incorrect, but I wasn't. And all of that was simply a lie. Any member of the audience like to speak? Anyone in the audience like to speak?
You know, before anyone speaks in the audience, I'd like to say that one of the things that I talked about a lot on my campaign, and one of the reasons I wanted to run, was to help this town to work together better. We're not working together very well. We need to...
It's his fault.
I'm happy.
There's no point in pointing. What we need to do is figure out how to get past this and how to put our energy into doing the best we can for this town instead of pointing fingers at others and making things up. It isn't helping anyone. We need to figure out how we can get past this and do our best for the citizens of this town.
You know, to Alex's point, I think there's a crisis of confidence here. I have absolutely, this is all about Andover. If my chairmanship is getting in the way of us moving together and I will happily resign because please be quiet. Happily resign my chairmanship just because I love this town. And I love.
Don't do it.
Take
a vote.
All right, I won't do it.
Call the vote.
Okay.
Well, I
Second, if there's no second.
yeah, there's, I think the board members, I mean, we had Selectman Kowalski apparently decided he didn't want to be part of this, that's his choice.
We have a quorum. Is there a motion? We have a quorum. Is there a motion? We have a quorum. Signatures are not votes.
Need a motion.
Yeah, I move that Alex Pispoli be named as chair, effective immediately, until the first meeting after the March election.
Is there a second? Hearing no second, the motion fails.
Okay, I move that...
Nice job, Landry.
Thank you,
Quiet.
Mrs.
Quiet.
Salafia.
Quiet.
Thank you, Mrs. Salafia. I appreciate
Quiet.
that.
You be quiet too.
I'm sorry. It's clear where the board stands. I called for this agenda item to give the board a chance to show where they stand, and I think now the town can see where they stand. So we'll just leave it at that.
So this all was a show.
That's all it was. This is all about
When you told me
running
I
for
couldn't
select
speak
board.
for the
That's all
board,
it is.
okay, Ken?
Yeah.
We've got
The
to,
chairman did offer residents to speak. Do residents still have a chance to speak?
You just gave me the finger, how about that? You want to tell everybody that? They're speaking from the floor, and you said I couldn't.
We just had a vote. We just had a vote. This item is now no longer being discussed because we just had a vote. It is over. Okay? Whitewash.